here, Kajika. Rikers have overrun the building, requesting JTF support.
Request denied.
We can't hold them alone.
We're falling back. You should too.
What?
We've called an evacuation order.
We need to finish this.
It's already in motion. Nothing left but a couple of stragglers.
You can't just leave.
It's over, Agent. I'm not having any more deaths on my conscience.
I should have known you'd fuck us. If we stay, we're dead. If we leave, we're rogue.
I'm sorry, Agent. There's nothing I can do. Over and out.
Fuck! So, what's the structure?
The police, fire department, and National Guard have consolidated into the Joint Task Force. Effective immediately, the JTF will liaise with the division.
They're inexperienced. Can we trust them to fall in line?
There is no falling in line. They are the locals and we are the outsiders.
Being local doesn't mean they'll make the right decisions. Emotional attachments cloud better judgment.
Which is why we need to listen to what they have to say, get on their good side, and make sure the transition runs as smoothly as possible. It's no secret that the good people of New York have struggled to contain this thing. They care about this city. It's our job to support them and keep it from falling apart.
We'll get the job done. But I'm not depending on people who are already starting to crack. You had a choice. Stay or leave. You chose to leave.
It was chaos. There was nothing I could do.
You all have one thing in common. A severe lack of accountability.
No, it's not like that.
No?
This has never happened before.
So you absolved yourself of responsibility.
We helped people.
By sacrificing others. You people don't deserve this city.
Please, we can make this right. I can make this right. Let me help.
It's too late for that.
Please.
Since you're so intent on passing the blame, I'm gonna need some names.
All these different government agencies, and not one of them can hold it together long enough to make a difference.
You including us in that assessment?
The way things are going.
It's not that bad.
You clearly haven't heard about Keener.
Yeah, well, he always was an asshole.
And Parnell?
Followed Keener around like a lost puppy.
It's not exactly easy to do your job when you don't know who your enemies are.
You were expecting easy?
You know what I mean.
What the? Are you getting this?
Identification confirmed. Agent Javier Kajika. Status rogue.
Fuck. His ring's red.
You really want me to work with Kajika?
It's not about what I want. It's about what we need. He's got resources we can exploit.
I don't like the idea of working with someone on a vigilante crusade.
That's irrelevant. He wants the JTF out of the picture. The cleaners need the same thing. Mutual benefit.
If I don't trust him, the cleaners won't trust him.
Which is why I need you with me on this one. He's like you. He's dedicated.
He's nothing like me.
Look, Viv, we're so close to achieving what we've been talking about. With Kajika on board, we can finally make it happen. I trust him to deliver on his end. He will help us succeed.
Fine. You vouch for him? He's your responsibility.
Let me make one thing clear. I don't trust the division, and I don't trust outsiders, which makes this little arrangement problematic for the both of us. I'm not division. Yeah? Well, you're still an outsider. The only reason we're even listening to you right now is because of Conley. Let's not make false assumptions about what this is. We are not allies, and I am not asking you to fall in line. Fine. But if you want our support, you're gonna have to give us something in return. The JTF are the only thing standing between you and eradicating the virus. I can help you bring them down. And what do you get out of this? There are people out there I'm looking for. That's all you need to know. You must be mistaken. We have our own way of settling grievances. So do I. Think of this like a ride share. Same route, different destination. We just have to get along for the journey. If that's true, we'll get along just fine. I need names.
What's the rush?
I don't want them alive any longer than they need to be.
Restraint is a strength. You're not a division agent anymore, but don't forget your training.
We had a deal.
If you strike now, you'll send them right back into hiding.
Don't think you can manipulate me like you've manipulated the others.
I have always delivered for you, Javier. You'll get your names. But be patient. Now's not the time.
There's a JTF convoy heading to Battery Park. Are they infected? Does it matter? You think we do what we do for the hell of it? This shit takes a toll. They're treating the infected. We'll do what needs to be done. But on our terms. You have mine. I said on our terms. We're on damage control. We're not here to pick up your dry cleaning. This is non-negotiable. You should respect that. So what do you think?
It'll take some work, but I can get it back up and running. We'll need to get permission from Conley.
Already granted. Apparently it was Kajika's idea.
Then I like to get started right away.
How long?
How long will it take to get me 10 good engineers?
Already done.
And I'll need a backup crew to take care of any disturbances. Nancy's bound to attract some attention once she gets going.
Nancy?
Nancy gets us to where we need to go. You always gotta name your ride.
Then we have Kajika. I don't know about this guy.
What's not to know? He checks all the boxes. Army and Spec Ops background, strong work ethic, multiple decorations, and letters of recommendation.
His psyche val is inconclusive.
What does that even mean?
It means we don't know what's going on inside his head. It means for all we know, a little pressure and he'll snap.
Did you even read his reports? He's been through hell and back. If he's going to snap, he would have already.
I'm just saying it's a risk. He could just be really good at hiding his flaws.
Look, can we get a second opinion? I really don't want to throw this guy out on the whims of one psychologist.
I'll take care of it.
Status update. Sync with Mexican Ambassador Arturo Lechuga. Major urban areas are decimated and rural areas in the Baja Peninsula are fine.
Well, shit, Zara. I guess we should take a vacation at Cabo.
Not funny, sir.
Lighten up. The world's fucked whether we like it or not.
Status update. Sync with Canadian intelligence. Major urban areas are decimated, and Canada's National Emergency Strategic Stockpile has been activated. Most of the western half of the country has dodged the worst of it. Rural BC is mostly unscathed.
I'm sensing a theme here, Zara. Live out in BFE. You're probably fine.
Yes, sir, that seems to be correct.
Those son of a bitch preppers ain't gonna let anyone live this down.
That's the least of our concerns, sir. Status update. Sync with agent station outside Moscow. Despite a major effort to contain the spread, criminal enterprises thwarted the quarantine just enough to ensure the containment failed.
I hope that bare-chested buffoon suffered.
I'm not sure that's pertinent, sir.
I don't give a fuck. He's a menace to stability and peace.
Status update. Immediate quarantine set in place, and major points of ingress to Japan were quickly shut down. While this prevented the spread of the virus, food and supply shortages have been causing havoc. Fishing communities are pitching in to fill the shortfall.
Must be nice to be an island nation.
I'm not sure starvation is better than the virus, sir.
I am. This is a plague of biblical proportions.
It's not a plague, sir.
Stop being so goddamn pedantic.
Status update. Report from our ambassador to India. Widespread outbreak and nearly complete social and economic collapse following in its wake. Major population centers have been devastated by the virus.
India? Why the fuck am I gonna be worried about India right now? Have you seen the state of this place?
And nuclear weapons, sir?
What about them?
India has them. If the government collapses and can't protect their stockpile, that's an issue for us and, really, everyone. Status update. Official report from the EU. Despite political paralysis around committing people to quarantine, many European countries have weathered the outbreak well. Healthcare systems manage treatments, and they've shown a high rate of success in treating the symptoms.
Sounds like a load of socialist bullshit.
The numbers don't lie, sir. That said, the collapse of their trading partners has significantly impacted urban centers with service economies. Status update. As expected, not much in the way of information. Global economic trade collapse seems like it has an outsized impact on the Middle East. OPEC countries are actively looking to trade crude stockpiles for critical medicine and supplies.
Well, it's a damn good thing we restarted drilling in Anwar. Would have been even worse if we had to trade for oil.
Sir, Anwar drilling operations have been completely halted since the outbreak.
Why the hell would they stop?
I believe they experienced difficulty drilling without sufficient staff. Status update. Reports out of Asia have been mixed. Economic devastation and catastrophic loss of life have been reported across the continent, but many regions seem to be largely untouched as well. Chinese authorities claim the situation is under control, but satellite imagery shows heavy population migration out of urban areas.
Mixed how? What are we talking about?
Initial news out of larger metropolitan areas show devastating viral spread, but some Asian countries have had little issue in rapid quarantine procedures.
So, you're saying that human rights abuses have their benefits?
Not at all, sir. I'm simply stating the reality that some countries have had less political backlash with strict lockdowns. Central and South America have fared relatively poorly. The breakdown in government services has factionalized the survivors, and they've coalesced into warlord factions, often led by former cartels with strong regional paramilitary power.
Cartels. Fuck.
Not solely, sir, but certainly, without markets for their products, the cartels have consolidated control over regions. We have reports of violent clashes with existing governmental militaries as well.
Well, that's just fucking perfect.
Status update. With such a low population density and already spotty government support structures across many African nations, much seems to remain largely unchanged.
I don't give a flying fuck about Africa. Why are you even briefing me about it?
It's my job, sir.
Well, stop briefing me on a continent with virtually no geopolitical significance. What the shit would we even do about Africa?
Care. Sir, you know I still have family there. Sir?
They aren't letting anyone through. The bridges and tunnels are all blocked. We can't get back to Crown Heights.
Even after you showed ID?
They said no exceptions.
Motherfuckers. Listen, stay put. I'll make some calls and come back to you quick as I can.
Thanks, Al.
Don't look, Gracie. Keep your eyes closed.
These guys are JTF.
They were.
What happened here?
They got shot.
By who? I don't see any other bodies.
Does it matter? Grab anything useful. We need to move.
Your rings.
My what?
Your rings are red instead of orange. Both of them. What does that mean?
It means we're having some technical difficulties.
Like, no Wi-Fi?
Yeah, something like that.
Is that serious?
It's not ideal. But division agents are trained to adapt and improvise. I'll make the best of a bad situation. You don't have to worry about us.
It's good to know. I think they killed those JTF guys.
How do you know?
Some of them were shot in the back. A few of them weren't even carrying weapons.
Why would they shoot JTF?
I don't know. I'm not sure I want to know. I mean, if they wanted to kill us, what's stopping them?
You guys really suck at whispering. Get some rest. Tomorrow's a big day. I told you I'd get you to safety. I'm a man of my word.
What are we doing all the way up here?
What's wrong? Don't like heights?
I got some feelings about stairs.
Hey, try doing that climb with a passed-out 6-year-old on your back.
I look out there and tell me what you see.
The Hudson River?
Further.
Hoboken?
That's where you need to be. That's the promised land.
Jersey?
You don't want to stick around here. Trust me. Things are going downhill fast.
I thought no one was allowed off the island.
You gonna let that stop you? Now wait about an hour and then row as hard as you can for the other shore.
You want us to wait?
This part of the Hudson flows both ways. Right now, it's slack tide. The ebb current will make crossing a lot easier and faster.
What if we're spotted?
Oh, with this wind, you should have plenty of time to get across between patrols.
Thanks for keeping your word.
All right, remember what I said. This situation's only gonna get worse. Avoid crowds and assume everybody you meet is a threat. And you might have a chance.
I hope your technical difficulties get sorted out.
We'll manage.
You about ready?
In a minute.
How long are you gonna sit there? They made it. They're safe. Can we go now?
What's the rush? You got somewhere you need to be?
You still haven't told me why we helped them.
A guilty conscience? Is that what you want to hear? Trying to offset my misdeeds with a random act of kindness.
Helping strangers doesn't really follow the recruiting pitch. Just want to know if you're gonna make this a regular thing.
All right, what's with the interrogation?
You put us at risk. I want to know why.
Truth? He went into the building.
He what?
When we first saw him in the West Village. The smart thing would have been to get the hell out of there. That's what most people would have done. But he didn't do the smart thing. He did the right thing.
That's bullshit. The smart thing is the right thing.
Maybe. Probably. But it made me want him to survive.
So it was a fireman thing.
Come on, let's get out of here. We have work to do.
Okay, buddy of mine from Squad 18 says they got room for you.
Holy shit, that's great news.
It's a couple of families from their company in Engine 24. They hold up in the West Village.
Moving up in the world.
A lot of rich folks got the hell out of Dodge at the first whisper of an epidemic. There's plenty of prime real estate sitting vacant over there.
I'm sure the owners would rather have a few smoke eaters camping out in their cribs than a bunch of junkies or infected.
No shit. Hang in there, okay? I'm gonna see what I can do to get you guys off the island, but it might take some time.
I don't know how to thank you, Al.
Just focus on keeping your family safe.
God, it's cold. How much further is it?
Just around the corner. Gracie, you ready to be warm? I sure am.
She's asleep.
No wonder she's so heavy. Jeez.
What if they turn us away?
I told you. They're expecting us. It's gonna be okay.
I hope you're right.
Of course I'm right. I'm always right. Oh, shit.
What is it? What's wrong? What's that smell? Mark, what are you doing?
I'm gonna check for survivors. Wait here. And keep out of sight.
We should go.
Someone could still be alive in there.
Whoever did this could still be in there.
I'll bug out at the first hint of trouble. I just can't walk away. Gracie, you stay with Mommy, okay? Daddy will be right back.
I see you hiding back there. You come out here before I get impatient. That's better. Just the two of y'all?
What do you want?
For you to answer my question.
My husband and his friends are coming back any minute.
Oh, well, maybe I should go. Wouldn't want them getting the wrong idea. Then again, I've got friends too. Here they are now. Let's see. Now, is that your husband or one of his buddies? Mark!
You touch them, you're dead.
Oh, you married a good one.
Why did you kill them? Why?
They didn't give us much choice, did they? Should have let us in.
There were kids in there.
Yeah, well, that was a mercy.
You murdered firefighters and their families. For what? Some supplies? Or did you get off on killing kids?
A bit of both, honestly. You're one too, aren't you? A fireman? You think that bullshit matters when things are the way they are? You think anybody gives a shit about New York's bravest?
I care.
Man, what the fuck?
Shit! Division!
Clear! All hostiles down.
You folks okay?
Yeah, thanks to you.
Anybody else alive in there?
No. These guys were offering us a place to stay until my chief could pull some strings and get us back to Brooklyn.
Well, that's not gonna happen. You can't stay here. You better come with us. We'll get you somewhere safe.
We will?
Yes, we will.
We sure appreciate it.
Try to keep up.
Hey, man, what are you doing?
Right this second,
With these strays, you got a thing for firemen?
they seem like decent people in a bad situation.
There's a lot of decent people in bad situations on this fucking island. We're gonna give them an armed escort, too?
Maybe, if I decide they deserve one.
I don't get a say in this.
No, you don't. How many?
About a dozen, maybe more. Couldn't check the left side without being spotted.
A dozen. Those are good odds.
How is 2 versus 12 good odds?
Because we've got the element of surprise. Evens things out.
Whatever, let's get this over with.
You three wait here.
What's going on?
Nothing you need to worry about. Just stay behind that dumpster and keep your heads down.
New wave of agents just strolled in. Hell of a way to make an entrance. Chopper got shot down in Brooklyn, then they got mixed up in that Lincoln Tunnel mess. One of them did, anyway. Fei Lao's gonna need some recovery time at the base of operations before she's field ready. The other one looks fine. And see how long it is before the city chews him up and spits him out. Well, I'm not gonna say that things are good, because they ain't, but they're a bit better than they were. Doc Candell is holding down the medical end of things, which is good, and Rhodes is up to whatever crazy shit he does with the systems, and meanwhile Lau and her friend are doing their best to clean up this mess. It's a big effort. It's gonna take all of us, and a whole lot more besides, but for the first time in a long time, I think we got a shot. So those nut jobs in the hazmat suits who call themselves the cleaners, they had themselves a nasty shock the other day when we took out their boss, Joe Farrow. We were hoping they'd just sort of fall apart after that, but no such luck. They just sort of regrouped. Each of them determined to carry on that lunatic Farrow's philosophy. Even worse, once he started running low on ingredients for napalm, they got creative with their chemistry set. So there's less of them and they're less organized, but your average cleaner, he's more dangerous than ever. So we all know how we got in this mess, right? A psycho named Dr. Gordon Amherst cooked up his homebrew smallpox variant and spread it around on cash on Black Friday. And, well, things got a little out of hand after that. The good news, if there can be any kind of good news in something like this, is that the virus looks like it's mostly burnt itself out. You can still find pockets if you go looking for it, but why in the hell would you want to do that? Not everyone wearing the orange is as good a person as Lau. She got hurt, she stuck it out, and she found a way to help. Some others, well, they got their feelings hurt and decided to go rogue. You heard me. They took all the gear and training they'd been given and they went their own way. Sometimes they even took out other agents. The worst of the lot's a guy named Aaron Keener. He'd as soon kill you as look at you. And he's playing a long game. He's got Amherst's tools for cooking up a new virus, and he's got a hostage named Chernenko who can show him how to do it. Oh, and nobody knows where he is. So if Green Poison 2.0 pops up around these parts, you'll know who to thank for it. The biggest turning point for us probably came when we took back the UN. That's when everything changed. We took down Charlie Bliss and his command structure and cut the last man battalion off at the knees. But at the same time, that's when Keener really went in the wind with Chernenko. It was the moment when we all took a deep breath and asked ourselves the question, what happens next? You cut the head off a snake, you get a headless snake. Or in the case of the last man battalion, you get a lot of soldier types wandering around without a real direction. They've still got officers and they've still got some kind of discipline, but without Bliss, you can tell the light's kind of gone out in their eyes. They're not fighting to take over the island anymore. They're fighting to survive. When it comes to the Rikers, taking out Lorraine Barrett is the best thing we could have done. Without her, they're dangerous. They're crazy, they're vindictive, and they don't give a crap about whether they're going to make it till tomorrow as long as they're having a good time today. But without Barrett giving them direction and purpose, that's all they are.
And we can handle that.
Hey, we found a small cistern hidden in a park on I Street. It looks pretty well maintained, so we're figuring someone's still using it.
You found a what?
A small cistern, probably about 40 or 50 gallons.
What's a cistern?
Are you kidding me? It's like a tank.
Then why didn't you call it tank?
Because it's a goddamn cistern for catching rainwater. Anyway, the point is, it looks like it's being used, so can you send somebody up here with something to poison it with?
You could have just mentioned that right away instead of showing off your damn vocabulary.
It's a fucking cistern. That's what it's called. Do you call an ambulance a van? No, because there's a word for it. Ambulance. Just send the fucking poison. Jesus.
Hey, I'm trying to get a hold of Henry Hayes.
You're talking to him. Who's this?
Mr. Hayes, I've got a message for you.
Who from?
Emmeline Shaw.
I'm not much interested in anything she or the rest of you have to say.
You have a young lady by the name of Natalie go missing a couple days ago? I'll take that as a yes. Emmeline figured you might be worried about her.
I swear on all that's holy, you shitheads hurt her.
What? You'll do what exactly?
Why are you doing this?
You're probably thinking about getting payback, aren't you?
Goddamn right.
Well, this is payback. It's fucking justice. And all of you cowards are gonna get a taste. Does it hurt? You think this is suffering? You have no idea, but you will. Soon enough. Be seeing you, Henry Hayes.
Oh, god damn, it stinks.
Of course it does. What do you expect?
How many of them in there?
I don't know. 15? I wasn't counting.
You kill them all?
We left one girl alive. We'll send her off to the campus to tell them what she witnessed.
That's good thinking.
Emmeline's idea, not mine.
We're running out of food and water. We don't have enough blankets to go around.
Yeah, things are tough all over.
People are dying.
No shit, motherfucker. It's the fucking apocalypse.
I bet you're still getting rations.
Damn straight, I eat like a king.
You're diverting supplies meant for us, aren't you?
Don't look at me, man. I ain't diverting shit. I'm just trying to do my job.
They're afraid of us. We can use that against them.
They have assault rifles that they can use against us.
We're going to die here if we don't do something.
Committing suicide isn't really solving the problem.
We can win if we take them by surprise. There's only a handful of guards left on the island.
Great. You're taking her side?
There's only one side, and we're all on it. We were put here.
You're fixing to piss me off. Miss Emmeline?
Is this the wretch you spoke of?
Yes. He surrendered after we killed the rest of his squad.
I didn't do nothing to you people. I wasn't even in D.C. till a month ago.
You don't seem very loyal to your commander.
Lady, I'm just trying to survive. True Sons seem like the safest bet.
Is that so?
I got no allegiance to them. I can be useful to you.
You expect me to trust a man who would switch sides so easily?
Give me a chance. I'll show you.
Send his head to the general. Let the river have the rest of him.
Get down on the goddamn floor now! Why are you doing this? You two, on the floor!
You are accused of complicity, of just standing by, as your neighbors, innocent of any crime or wrongdoing, were rounded up and forced into brutal isolation, starved and left to die.
We didn't do anything!
That's exactly the point. For your crimes, your lives are judged to be forfeit. I didn't think it was possible for someone to be an asymptomatic carrier of smallpox. But green poison also isn't a natural strain of the virus.
But why do you need a blood sample?
We're going to use it
To make a vaccine?
to make a weapon.
To infect people?
Of course.
Good.
one from the boat.
Yeah. Tried jumping overboard. We fished him out of the river.
What happened to his nose?
He wouldn't stop jabbering.
Get that gag off him.
Fucking murderers! Now there's a pot talking to a kettle.
You know what happened here, don't you, soldier?
Colonel Ridgway was arrested for that. We were bringing you supplies.
You mean to tell me you never heard a single rumor about how bad things were here? Your guilt is clear.
What are we supposed to do now?
Seek justice.
How?
Relentlessly. And without mercy. We were victimized. But we don't have to remain victims. We were imprisoned, but we don't have to remain prisoners.
You can say whatever you want, but does it mean we can do anything about it?
Our enemies are right across that river. They tore us away from our families, locked us in here, starved us, deprived us, assaulted, and murdered us. But it's not just them. It's also the ones who signed the orders, who decided this was an acceptable solution. And it's the ones, all the ones, who stood by and let it happen, doing nothing. I want justice. And so I condemn them, all of them. And I will not rest until they are punished.
Where does it end?
Where does what end?
This.
It doesn't. It won't. Not for me.
It has to end somewhere.
It ends when I wake up and this was all just a terrible dream. And my daughter is still here, and she didn't die alone, calling out for me, or too far gone to notice I wasn't there beside her. Nothing can make that right. Not ever. And until it's right, it won't end. Take the knife.
I don't know if I can do this.
Yes. You can. Take it. Good. Very good. Don't be afraid.
I am afraid.
I know you are. I understand. You look at this wretched thing, and you see a human being. And how could you hurt a human being? Do you know this man?
No.
Tell him what you did. Tell him.
I killed a woman.
Why did you kill her?
I told her to get back. She wouldn't listen.
So what did you do?
Hit her with my rifle butt. She screamed at me, spat blood at me, so I hit her again till she stopped screaming.
Because she didn't listen to you.
Goddamn right. That's goddamn right.
Her name was Vivian Harper.
No. Murderer!
Our enemies are not human. Not anymore. They traded their humanity to survive. They roped us to an altar as a sacrifice so that they would be spared. But we slipped our bonds. And now they must be judged and punished.